Hello, 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 hello. How is everybody today? Welcome back to our next leg in our tour of Tasmania in the Caravans. We're doing 2 hops today. First one will be westward out towards the coast, and then we're going to head down to the capital of Tasmania, down in Hobart. So we got a few people here. We got Talia, Nick, Pilot Pat, and Wayne are in aircraft. And I think Talia is going to be joining us if she's not here already. But we're sitting here. I put the weather on to few clouds. It's rather miserable in Tasmania today, and after last week's flight in to this airport in the clouds and everything, yeah, I think we'll go for some good weather. So we'll hop on board and we'll get the aircraft fired up. Well, I gotta remember I'm over in that view. Okay. So first thing as always, we're gonna turn the fuel on. We'll then come down here to the left panel. Battery will go on. Fuel boost will go on. Ignition will go on. Avionics 1 will go on. We'll come over here. We'll turn the nav and beacon lights on. And once we get the engine gauges up, we are good to start. So condition lever will go fully on. Prop RPM is back at minimum. It will now go to max. And we will crack the throttle slightly. And we will hit the starter.
TOS system test. Okay.
Engine's coming up. Just gonna come in stable, and then we should have ignition on the fuel. There she goes. Turbine temperatures are up. And we have a good start. So, food boost can come back to normal. Disengage the starter. Ignition back to normal. Avionics 2 will come on. And there we go. So our first destination is down to YSRN. So we can plop that one in. YSRN. There we go. It's not that far away. I think it just takes us down to the coast. And we'll range out slightly. You can see that's where we're headed on the first leg. Set the barrel. 299 and again we're running on the few clouds preset. Alright, so we'll get our displays all set up here and ready to go. So we'll take that off. We'll go to CDI nav mode. PDF, we're going to go wind option 3. And transponder we will set to VFR. And we'll go altitude reporting on that. So that's all up and running. Winds are out of the west, so we're going to be taking off on runway 27, 4,000 foot runway. And then it's a 12-mile hop, basically 220 degrees roughly, down to Strahan. I can hear the Spitfire back there. Everybody else should be here. A little bit of a, not a graphical itch. That's, I believe, Talia and whoever's in that airplane have overlaid each other. So that's fine. So we're going to back up here. And we'll do a little bit of power back with the prop. So we're going to come off on the brakes. push around. Little backing action. There we go. So now we can taxi around to runway 24, which is opposite the way we came in. So we're going to taxi down this way, and then we'll head over to here, and then we're going to take off to the west. So we are good to go. So we'll get our taxi lights on. Again, this is a short hop down to the coast. Very quiet airplane inside. I do like the Caravan for that. So a little bit of news. The JU-52 being released by Asobo with World Update 6 has been delayed. Funny thing, they found some bugs with it that they're trying to sort out. I mean, I'm all for bug fixing, but seems like even their bug fixing doesn't work sometimes. World Update 6, it seems the big issue is the lighting at night. It's broken and not working properly, and if you do any other type of object or terrain detailing greater or less than 100%, it doesn't set the lights properly. Speaking of which, we'll go landing lights on, strobe lights on. As we head out. And we head down. So, last thing I gotta do, a nice mountain there, is we'll come down and we'll set our flaps to take off. There's Talia coming now. Not sure why I'm slowing down so much. Add a little bit more power. Now I know Orbex released the whole free Tasmania scenery mesh overlay and everything, but not for 2020. It was for the old FSX, and I think for X-Plane or Prepared, I think. Would have been nice to have it for this one. It would have been a nice addition since we're doing some nice low-level flying. So I've been doing a little bit more work on the world tour for the DC-6. It's going to be interesting. Some nice legs there. I was also checking out SimBrief's new VOR route planning function that they released with the latest Navigraph update. Navigraph have put in VOR route planning. Works pretty good, actually. It does not give you the compass directions off the VORs, but it does give you the at least the VORs that you'd be using. So I think I'm still going to use SkyVector to print out my report with all my compass headings, which is the way I do it. But at least with SkyVector now you can type in the names, and you'll have it all planned out for you. Alright, so we are now set. We'll wait for Talia to get down here, and then we'll head off. So 12 miles to our first place. Yeah, I'm really enjoying the DC-6, Talia. It's a lot of fun, and it is it's a challenge to fly and challenge to land, but it's pretty cool. All right, so as soon as she gets down, we'll head out. So we're well into September now. We've had some pretty good storms here in the Toronto area over the last few days. And the weather is starting to change. So it is definitely the onset of autumn. Which, sad news in some ways, you know, summer's gone and stuff, but should be nice. I know all the kids are going back to school. Yeah, I saw that, Nick. You had a successful flight. That's very good news. Yeah, so much to do. I know, eh? Tell you, that's a neat idea. There is a lot of them. I think, not sure what we got. The Spitfire tour, the British Air Base is going on right now, so that kind of ties up that evening slot. We'll see what happens. All right, Talia's here, so we'll come off on the brakes. So flaps are set, propellers fully forward, condition levers fully forward, and we are good to go. All right, power coming up. Airspeed's alive. $60 knots, easing back, and we are up. Prison. I'm sure some of the kids feel that way. Trim here. So we're going to come back to 2100 RPM and about 1700 on the prop, and flaps fully up. And we're turning for the coast. Yeah, my voting is at the local community center. And this is about as high as we need to go. 2,000 feet. So the airport we're heading to, Strahan Airport, is 66 feet elevation, and we'll be landing on runway 36. Nose down. It's an altitude of 1,000 feet. Go autopilot on. Go to nav mode. Definitely bring that. Down a bit. Should drop her down to about 500. Get that power right back. Is that the one out in the East End? In Whitby? I'm not sure if that one is still there or not. So this is the town of Strahan coming up. As you can see, it's right on the west coast of Australia. It's got a nice natural bay that you can see here off to the left. Huge inner water area there. And there's the airport ahead, just on the other side of the water in the town here. Alright, well, we're still all here, which is good. Oh, that's the one where they filmed like Police Academy and stuff. Yeah. Okay, I know that one. I guess the Whitby one is still active. So there's the town of Strahan. Beautiful little waterfront area here. Lovely scenery. So we're getting down to 1,000 feet. Just gonna come by here, touchdown, say hello. And it's gonna be kind of winds are almost a dead crosswind, about 270. So we'll land on 3.5 and then we'll take off, come around, or when we get to the end, we'll just come down to the end and we'll take off on 1.8. Make sure that you've got your CDI set to the magenta line, or else it's on VOR navigation. Alright, so we're overhead the field. Gonna kind of go out to the shoreline here, and that'll be our downwind. That turn, so we're heading 180. I'm gonna come back on the power, prop fully forward, start her slowing down. Yeah, I've run into that little mouse thing a couple times. Let's first notch your flaps. And with full flaps. This is where track IR comes in handy. There's the runway. Trim it out a little bit more. Oh, yeah, I see you over there. It's weird. Sometimes these glitches, you just can't figure out what's going on. So, Talia, do you want us to wait for you here, or are you just going to fly over? We'll meet you in the air type of deal? Alright, so flaps are full, props fully forward, condition lever fully forward. Power's back, 500 feet. Alright, Wayne's landing beside the runway. 60 knots, slowing her down. And we are down. So we'll just run up to their end. Wayne's going for the trees. And looks like he just scratched another Spitfire. Alright. Put the flaps fully up. Just come on over here and we'll take a seat here. You meet us overhead? Okay. There we go. Parking brakes on. Here comes the rest of the guys. So what we can do now is we will set up for the next leg. So our flight from here is a little bit longer, and we're going to want to get up a couple thousand feet because we do have some mountains and stuff to go over. Or, I guess mountains are a relative term, but so we are at YSRN, and we are heading to YCBG. YCBG. Have I got that right? Oh, CBG. I see what I got wrong. So we're going to be crossing over the main part of southern Australia, or southern Tasmania. Should be good. So I'm going to come in and I'm going to change this now. So that goes there, and this becomes CBG. So that should now be reset on the screen. Okay, and we are good there. So the course is basically going to be about 110 degrees or so, and it is 105 miles, so it's going to take about 40 minutes to get down to where we are headed. And we should be good. So we've got the others here, and I saw Wayne. Wayne's up in the air, so we can move out and take our position now. First level of flaps. I'll move over to the other side. The runway's a little bit bumpy. Here we go. So Wayne's back in the air, and it looks like Talia's up. As soon as Pat gets turned around, we'll be ready to go. Alright, so parking brake is off. Propeller's fully forward. Flaps are in takeoff position. Condition lever is fully forward, and lights are on. Oop, one thing I didn't do is we have to go direct to YCBG. There we go, Cambridge Airport in Hobart, Tasmania. So we will enter and enter, and we now have it. Altitude we're going to set is 4,000 feet. And we are good to go. And I've just heard Wayne fly overhead, so that means it's time to get out of here. Parking brake is off. And power coming up. So power's up. Airspeed's live. $60 knots, easing back. Up we go. Ease it forward. Not sinking, I'm climbing. Alright, so there's 1,000 feet. Bring up the flaps. Airspeed's coming up. Bring the power back slightly, props back slightly. Alright, so we're going to go to autopilot, and we will go to a vertical speed. About 700 feet per minute. And we'll go up and intercept our course. We'll actually crank that up to 1,000. There we go. Flaps fully up. And landing lights are off. There's Talia coming in. Autopilot's now working. Yeah, sure. I don't know why it was yelling at me to go sync. I was in climb mode and accelerating, so. There's Wayne enjoying a view of the water as he's inverted. So we do have these mountains to get over, so 4,000 feet might not be high enough. We'll have to see. There's not a lot to go on the charts. I don't have VFR charts for down here, but we'll see how 4,000 does. All right, 2,700. So we're not doing too bad on the Tasmania tour. We're halfway once we land. There'll be 4 more flights. That'll take us around the south and eastern part of Tasmania. And that wraps up that trip. So it's looking pretty good. Thank you for posting that, Nightbot. Alright, so we're coming up to 4,000 feet, so I'm going to set my cruise power now. So we're going to come back to 1,700 foot-pounds on the torque. And then we're going to bring the prop back to RPM back to 1,700. This is all rough numbers. And then readjust the foot-pounds. It's a nice quiet cruise. There we go. That should give us a nice burn rate. So let's take a look at where we are. See some of the views down here. Looking very nice. Beautiful scenery here. A little bit of bare ground there. There's the Spitfire. So as I mentioned in the Discord the other day, there will be no stream this Sunday. The museum I volunteer at, we're opening for the public for the only time this year. This weekend, both Saturday and Sunday, so I got to be up there working that. So won't be around on Sunday for the Ford's flight. That will pick up again the week after. We will be streaming again on Monday for the DC-6s over Germany stream. We'll throw that into the chat. Yeah, I tell you, it's always something, isn't it? You know, one thing works, the another one doesn't. Oh, that's very close to these hills. Oh, nice peak over there. So the area we're over is actually pretty barren and sparse. This is all wilderness here in southwestern Tasmania. As you can see, there's not a lot out here. It's very rugged. I'm going to see if I can get a little bit more info on where we are. So we're flying over the north end of the Franklin Gordon Wild Rivers National Park, which is what you can see here, and definitely down in all these valleys you'd have rivers and stuff like that, some pretty interesting lakes. This is Lake Burbury, and then over this way, the water there, you can see that's the that big bay south of Strahan. We're actually currently over the West Coast Range Regional Reserve. So these are the West Coast Mountains. See the rivers running through the valleys. Very cool. So the airport we're going to has a couple of different runways. We're going to be landing on runway Flying on runway 30. It's 3,100 feet long. So it's one of the longer ones. Not even a McDonald's, no. It's really just a lot of nothing out here. It is beautiful, however. Should be okay terrain wise. So there's those really tall peaks there. Wow. Very nice. It is nice seeing the Spitfire as a Spitfire, isn't it? Yeah. So what do you guys think of the Caravan? Talia, I think you like it. I like it. I'm wondering if I should do more caravan-based tours, more rugged type of outback type of stuff. I think that would be pretty neat. Yeah, definitely some high peaks here. We got some of the same reddish Australian soil when you get up on the main island. Alright, so it's a popular airplane. Yeah, that was the big thing with Kevin and his Spitaki. It kept modeling it as a Piper Cherokee and stuck the nose wheel in the air and dragged the tail along the ground. And we couldn't figure out why it was doing that, because even people who had the Spitfire were seeing them like that, but we haven't had that since the last update, so it's been pretty good so far. Actually had a Caravan at the airport last week. Came in and I don't know what he was doing there. Dropped off and then left about an hour later. Looks like Wayne's having some fun. I can see his navigation lights revolving as he spins around. And that was probably because he stalled and just crashed into the ground. That's two Spitfires that Wayne owes to the Queen today. You're not seeing him as a Spitfire? Oh no, that's not good. But you saw him as a Spitfire yesterday, right? Or on, what day was it? Friday? Wednesday. Today's Friday. Oh god, I'm losing track of what day it is. You don't like the clip wing? Well, I'll tell you, Wayne, the clipped wing Spitfire is designed for low level. That's why the wings are clipped, to reduce air resistance in the thicker air down low. So, although you were showing up as a elliptical wing Spit to me when you were up nice and close. Alright, so where are we now? We're coming up to a point. We are between Lake Gordon on our right and Lake King William on our left. We're going to be kind of, I don't know if we'll actually see them or not. So again, we're pretty close to the tops of these hills. But we're still out over that Franklin Gordon Wild Rivers National Park area. I guess ideally we'd probably be flying at about 7,000 feet. But where's the fun views in that? Looks like Pilot Pat is forging the way ahead. Again, it's a very quiet airplane inside. I've never actually been in one in real life. I would love to. Seems very quiet. They just make out part of the King William Lake up there. We're a little bit too far away to see the Lake Gordon, which is further off down that way. So the altitude, so you have Hobart is 67 feet, so again about 1,000-foot circuit altitude, and we'll land, as I said, runway 30. So just as a reference for me, I'll dial this around to 30. The Caravan's great because it's got a good range. It can carry a good load. But given the way it's designed for short fields and everything, you can land on gravel runways. You can land on 2,000 feet, no problem. It'd be a great airplane for going and touring around small fields, small strips. And you can go some distance in it as well. I mean, she's got the legs to do several hundred miles. And she looks relatively comfortable. Maybe I'll see if I can work something out in the Caribbean. And we could do a Caribbean tour in the Caravan. Just see something here. Yeah, we might be able to do something in the Caribbean. I think it's a type of airplane that you would find flying to a lot of the islands and stuff, just doing inter-island hops. maybe we could do that if we want to keep Wednesday nights or Friday nights for Caravan. We could look at doing a hop of the Caribbean in the Caravan. That could be fun. And it'd be nice with the weather turning for most of us, getting colder and stuff. It'll be nice to be flying down in the Caribbean islands. Let me just see if... Yeah, Simbrief has a Cessna Caravan profile, so use that for the planning. That could work out very well. Oh, Wayne just... Oh, there he is. I was going to say he just disappeared again, but I think he's doing a strafing attack on me. So Wayne, you got to remember the big thing about the airplane. The number one way to get out of a spin is don't get into a spin. The number two way, which is the standard, is throttle to idle, nose down, opposite rudder to the rotation, and when you stop rotating, gently ease back on the stick to pull out of the dive. You need some altitude to do that though, so it might not work if you're too low. So there's a little town coming up. Once we get over these hills here and the ground changes terrain again from forest to more scrub, called Ouse, and that's bringing us into the populated area again. O-U-S-E, Ouse. Maybe I'll find a nice Caribbean livery for the 208. And we can start that one in October. Sounds like a plan. This is the final range of mountains, more or less, as we come through here. You have a good speed, about 150 knots. I think that's very doable. So let's see, we got a fuel flow of 360 pounds per hour. We can carry 2,000 pounds of fuel. So that would give it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.5 hours of flying time. Doing 150 nautical miles an hour. Close to 1,000 miles. All right. It's pretty good. Coming out of the Wilderness Park area. And we're going to be coming through a bunch of little towns. Now this little peak area we see coming up is the Mount Dromedary Forest Reserve. I'm going to kind of fly over that. And on the other side of that, we start hitting some of the waterways that feed into the coast and into the South Pacific. Just looking for where Hobart is. In the airport area. Okay. So we're not far away now. Yeah, we'll definitely have to plan for higher altitudes for some longer legs. But hello. Who's banging around in the back there? It is doable. Alright, so everybody's here. See, we're coming down out of the mountains now. Town of Holbart will be on our right. We're going to kind of fly over it and then loop around for the landing. Alright, so 172 over there. Looks like we've got a 780 or 747-800 sitting over at Hobart Airport. Not sure if they would actually fly in there, considering the longest runway is only 3,200 feet long. Although I don't think we're going to the international airport. I think we're going to a secondary airport outside. Navigraph works with it too. Oh, you've been using... Yeah, I've got little nav map. I haven't really gotten into it. I've kind of been doing... well, I use SimBrief for all my planning, but with doing the VOR stuff up till, because I want the headings and that, I've been using SkyVector because I can print out the flight report for the flight and it gives me all the bearings and headings that I need. And I've been using that for planning the around the world flight for the DC-6 that's coming up. And that's, I just find that easier for me. Little nav map's a little bit overly complex for what I need it for. Alright, so we're starting to head out over the water here. So there are two airports here. There's the international airport, and then there's the smaller airport. We're going into the smaller one, which is just to the west of the main one. So we have to bear that in mind. We're not landing at the international airport. That's true, Talia. Nick, where did you get the bearings on Navigraph? I mean, it gives me distances between the points, but not bearings. So yeah, the 350 and the 787 are probably at the international airport, which we're not going to. So again, it's going to be runway 30 on the OFP from SimBrief. I was looking at that on the EasyJet one, and I didn't see. I found all kinds of other information, but I didn't see bearings. Yeah, if you could, that'd be great. All right, so we're just gonna quickly. I'm gonna dial in. Oh, we already got it in 300 for the rough runway heading pointer. And we are 22 miles out now from YCBG. Oh, that's pretty cool. A low cloud. I can see Nick's lights, and Talia's back here somewhere. Yeah, same with me when I was first looking at this trip. I was like, oh, well, I can get that one, and I was like, no, we're going into the little regional airport. Oh, it looks like the A350 is climbing out. So we're going to go across this river. The town of Hobart is down this way, off to our right. And then there's a bridge that goes across into this peninsula. And the airport we want, I think, is just on the other side of these hills. Coming up. So I think at this point, we'll drop down to 3,000 feet. Will you do a flight level change for me? I come back on the power a bit. Yep, you'll do it. So we'll come down to 3,000 feet. It's going to hold airspeed for the descent. .600 feet per minute is good. That'll take us down to 3,000. There's Hobart. This little one here is Glen Auchree, and then Holbart, the capital of Tasmania, is down over here. There's a couple little land bridges that go across here and down here. Alright, we'll bring the power back up. Can use our descent. For 10 miles to go. Then we can take her down to 2,000 feet now. So if you look at the little bay here, I think that's the main international airports right there. The one we want is just behind this ridge line here on this side of the bay. So it's going to be kind of hard to see until the last minute. There's some of the bridges. Again, beautiful scenery down here. Alright, so we should almost be head on the runway we're going to want. Should be running slightly offset to where we are. I think this is the airport. Should be right in here. So we're gonna come in, we're gonna probably, I'm gonna turn, fly down here, come in and around, and then in. I'll just take manual control a little bit from here. Keep descending a little bit. Yeah, there's the airfield. You can see it slightly offset from the other one. And the runway is kind of along the water there. Come down through the little gaps in the hills here. Keep descending. Looks like an old training, Commonwealth Air training airport we're going into with that triangular runway layout. We're almost. See, there's the runway right there. Sure, they won't mind us doing this over their airfield over there. Alright, so condition levers fully forward, props fully forward. Landing lights are on. Start bringing the power back. Start our trim for 65. First notch of flaps. Second notch of flaps. Bringing that power right back. There's the main airfield in front of us. We want this one over here. And it's going to be runway 30. Which is right there. I'm not stalling. Well, I am stalling. It's the farther one. This is where airport diagrams come in handy. There we go.
500.
500 feet. Flaps are fully down. Power's fully back. Slight crosswind. Runway 30. And we are down. Bit of beta prop. Wayne's not having a good day in the Spitfire today, by the looks of it. Let's cut over on the grass here. We'll head over to the main apron. Oh, welcome to Hobart in Tasmania. Love the little parking lot here. come over to second stand here. And I'm a little big for it, but that's fine. All right, we're in. Let's shut her down. So everything is cooling. It's 14 degrees out. It is, we're just coming out of winter here in Australia. Everything's good. AC is on. You can't play with those switches. That's fine. All right, so turn the avionics off. Condition lever back. I don't want that motoring. Fuel boost to off. Ignition is normal, that's fine. Battery is off. Oh, should do all the lights too. Not that they're on now, but it's fine. And that's the lights off. So we got the Caravans here. Here comes Talia. We'll just watch her come in. And I saw Wayne's icon somewhere. Oh, there he is. There's Wayne. Not sure if he's landing or doing buzzing the field here where we are. I don't know if I want to watch this. Nope. Well, I think that's going to do it for us. I think Nick just went into his logbook there. As Talia comes into land, we'll wrap it up. Thank you very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Don't forget to like, subscribe, bell notification, Discord channel, and all that good stuff. We'll get Nightbot to fire up the Discord one last time. And we'll go from there. Oh, no. You need a full bottle, Wayne. Full bottle. And I like the way you did the little lowercase I at the beginning so Nightbot didn't wake up and catch you for doing all caps. Oh. Well, that's a good way to end it. It's like Wayne was visited by his old buddy Nightbot. Anyway, thanks for flying, guys. Talia, nice landing down here where we can see you come in. Thanks for joining us on tonight's flight. We will catch you next Friday for the next segment of our Caravans over Tasmania. And we will catch you on our next stream Monday night for the DC6s in Germany. Unfortunately, we're not here on Sunday, like I said, but we'll see you then. Take care, everybody. Bye for now.